The sea was a furious beast. Waves, as tall as mountains, churned and crashed against one another, their peaks frothing with white rage. In the heart of this chaos, a tiny canoe fought for survival. On board, 3 figures braced themselves against the onslaught. Moana, chief of Motunui, gripped her oar, her knuckles white but her gaze steady. Beside her, the demigod Maui, his legendary fishhook held tight, scanned the horizon. And with them was Kaialani, a warrior from a distant island, her skin adorned with tattoos that glowed with an ethereal, turquoise light. Their destination was a legend whispered only by the oldest sea turtles and the wisest winds, the Storm Caverns. It was an island that wasn't an island, a place hidden within the swirling vortex of a permanent cyclone. Lightning, like brilliant jagged scars, tore across the bruised purple sky. Thunder wasn't just a sound, it was a physical force, a deep, resonant growl that shook the very bones of the ocean. "We have to reach the Eye of Tempests before Rakor does," Moana shouted over the storm's roar, her voice laced with urgency. The wind whipped her hair across her face, but her eyes never left the spinning cyclone ahead. Kaialani nodded, her glowing tattoos pulsing in a silent, rhythmic conversation with the storm. "The winds tell me he is close. His darkness precedes him." The journey was a nightmare of navigation. The waves didn't just rise and fall, they spun in chaotic, dizzying spirals, threatening to swallow their small vessel whole. Maui, ever the showman but practical in a crisis, knew a canoe's eye view wasn't enough. "Need a better look," he declared. In a flash of light and a puff of smoke, he was no longer a demigod but a giant eagle, his wingspan rivaling the canoe's length. He soared into the air, banking against the ferocious winds, his sharp eyes piercing through the rain and mist. Below, he swooped and called, guiding Moana's oar, showing her the fleeting, treacherous paths through the liquid maze. Just as they neared the cyclone's edge, the sea itself seemed to rise in protest. A colossal figure formed from the churning water, a guardian of the storm. It towered over them, its body a shifting mass of roaring waves, its eyes blazing like molten lightning. The creature's roar was a primeval sound that vibrated through the canoe, shaking the ocean floor. Kaialani stood, her stance unwavering. She stretched her arms out, palms facing the guardian. Her tattoos flared with brilliant light. "It is a spirit of the storm," she said, her voice calm amidst the chaos. "I can soothe it, but my connection will only hold for a moment." Before she could act, the guardian lunged, its watery fist aiming to crush them. Moana, with reflexes honed by a lifetime on the water, yanked her oar, spinning the canoe on a dime. The watery fist smashed into the sea where they'd been a second before, sending a colossal spray into the air. At the same moment, Maui in his eagle form dove from the sky. Mid-flight, he shifted again, this time into the sleek, powerful body of a shark. He slammed into the water spirit's torso, the impact sending a shockwave through the creature and knocking it stumbling back. But as the heroes battled the guardian, a darker presence made itself known. A shadow fell over them, colder than the rain. High above, floating on a roiling storm cloud, was Rakor. His dark cloak whipped around him like a living thing, and his eyes burned with a malevolent orange glow. He looked down at the battle with disdain, as if watching ants squabble. With a lazy, arrogant gesture, he reached out his hand. The air before him shimmered and warped. And then, it appeared. The Eye of Tempests materialized, a swirling sphere of raw storm energy, pulsing with blues and purples, crackling with untamed lightning. It was the very heart of the storm, and it was in his grasp. Moana gasped, her heart sinking. "No! He's faster than we thought. He doesn't control it yet." Kaialani yelled, her focus split between the guardian and the new threat. "The eye must be seated on its throne to be mastered. If we get to it first, he cannot claim it." The race was on. With a final, coordinated effort, Maui distracted the guardian while Kaialani used a surge of her power to create a massive wave, pushing their canoe forward with incredible speed. They shot through the outer wall of the cyclone, entering the calm, eerie center, the eye of the storm. Inside, it was a surreal cathedral of wind and water. A glowing, crystalline platform hovered in the middle, and above it, waiting, was the Eye of Tempests. Lightning arced from the eye to the platform, a cage of pure, dangerous energy. "Time to be a hero!" Maui shouted, transforming back into his demigod form and landing gracefully in the canoe. He began to spin his fishhook, gathering celestial energy for a mighty blow. "Leave it to me!" But Rakor was always a step ahead. He landed on the platform with terrifying, silent speed. From the dark clouds swirling above, he pulled forth monsters made of pure storm, beasts of whipping wind, crushing water, and crackling lightning. He didn't just summon help, he created it. They attacked all at once. One beast, a serpent of living water, lunged at the canoe. Kaialani met it head-on, her hands glowing as she wrestled with its form, bending the water to her will and pushing it back. Moana expertly maneuvered the canoe, dodging bolts of lightning spat by a creature made of pure electricity. In the sky, Maui was a whirlwind of action, his hook clashing against a monster of solidified gale force winds. Seeing her chance, Moana steered the canoe on a direct course for the platform. They were closing in, but it was a feint. Rakor landed with a ground-shaking thud and his hand closed around the Eye of Tempests. The moment he touched it, a cataclysmic explosion of lightning erupted outwards. The raw power sent a shockwave across the sea, blasting the heroes back. The canoe was thrown through the air, and they were all sent tumbling into the churning water. Kaialani surfaced, coughing, a cry of despair escaping her lips. "We can't hold him. He's too powerful. He'll destroy everything." Moana pulled herself back onto the overturned canoe, her body aching, her spirit bruised. But as she saw Rakor, bathed in the terrible light of the eye, a fire ignited within her. "No," she said, her voice low but unyielding. "We stop him. Together." She rose to her feet, finding her balance on the slippery hull. She raised her oar not as a paddle, but as a conduit. She reached out not with her hands, but with her heart, her deep, unbreakable connection to the ocean. And the ocean answered. The sea around Rakor began to swell, rising like a giant, watery hand, trying to reclaim the relic that was stolen from its heart. Kaialani, seeing Moana stand, channeled the last of her energy, not to fight, but to guide. She stabilized the massive wave Moana had summoned, focusing its power, preventing it from washing them all away. Maui, seeing his opening, let out a war cry and smashed his hook into the remaining storm beasts, clearing a path for Moana's power. But Rakor's grip was absolute. He laughed, a sound like grinding stone, and with a final, blinding flash of dark energy, he and the Eye of Tempests vanished into the swirling storm clouds. He was gone. Silence fell, broken only by the panting of the exhausted heroes and the slow calming of the sea. The cyclone began to dissipate, the sky slowly lightening. Moana collapsed to her knees on the canoe, her strength spent. She stared at the dark horizon where he had disappeared. Kaialani swam to her side and pulled herself onto the hull, her glowing tattoos now faded to a soft glimmer. "We failed," she whispered, her voice heavy with defeat. Then, she straightened up. "But we can't give up. He's taking the eye to the Maelstrom throne. That must be his seat of power. That's where we'll have to face him." Maui landed beside them, transforming back to his normal size, breathing heavily. "Okay, yeah," he admitted, looking uncharacteristically humbled. "Maybe I underestimated the guy with the spooky cloak. But we're not done yet." Round 2. Moana lifted her head. The exhaustion was still there, but beneath it was the familiar, unshakable core of determination. Her voice was steady, clear as a bell. "We have to chase him. The ocean is counting on us." As she spoke, the mist around them began to glow. A familiar, gentle form appeared, the spirit of her grandmother, Tala, shining softly. Even the fiercest storm can be tamed by courage, little Minnow, she said, her voice a soothing balm. The next journey will demand all your strength and all your heart. With renewed purpose, the three heroes righted their canoe. They set their sights on the horizon, toward the unknown location of the Maelstrom throne. The storm was over, but the true journey had just begun. And together, they sailed forward, ready for whatever came next. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next chapter of their adventure. See you next time.